You know what, if I had to pick an issue, or I had to say what's wrong with Connecticut, it's that we don't set a long-term agenda. And management is a day-to-day thing. I have pledged that my legislative agenda will be issued every year by the end of summer, so that well before the legislature going into session, they're going to know what the administration desires to accomplish. Now, the budget numbers will come later, but legislatively, people should know before the session starts what the governor believes are the things that need to be gotten done. The idea that you wait to the last minute to announce your legislative session, that basically there's this 2-week period at the beginning of the session where people submit their bills, to me makes no sense. And you know, I want to be very clear.
You had mentioned that last time.
I am committed that you need to know the administrative side of government's legislative agenda well in advance of the legislature coming into session. And you then, as opposed to what our governor did, you need to have somebody who presents a budget that's actually in balance. I mean, you know, as a mayor of a city for the last 14 years, I knew that every March 8th or 9th, depending on how the calendar fell, I had to produce an in-balance budget. Which means, you know, many times I had to say, well, to do my spending plan, you'd have to raise taxes this amount of money, right? You take your knocks. People are getting, you know the budget's going to be cut by the two boards that it goes before, but you stand up on your own 2 feet and say what it is you believe people should do. I started things when I was first elected mayor, not anticipating that I'd see them come to fruition. My original idea was maybe I'd do it for 6 years, maybe I'd do it for 10. But we had to lower crime because that was causing people to leave. We had to build housing downtown because we didn't have enough workers in our community for the corporations that we had, and Stamford's a hard place to get to on the system, so we had to change how we looked at housing. We had to be more proactive in economic development. We had to take care of some of the transportation issues. So, you know, now 14 years later, we're building a $100 million road system that I went to Washington to bring back the money for. We completed all those renovations of the schools that I talked about. Actually, another thing, we completed a $107 million upgrade of a waste treatment plant on time and under budget. We invested money in lowering our consumption of energy. So right now in Stamford, we use 19% less energy in our city-owned buildings than we did in 1998. At a savings of about $750,000 a year, reducing tens of thousands of tons of particulate matter. I mean, you can do these things. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit out there that government really needs to say, we're going to do this. If we're going to lower electric rates in the state, we need to get some of this low-hanging fruit. You know, I think people want to have faith in government's ability to get the job done. And, you know, for 14 years, I produced results with fewer people and below inflation rate spending on the city side. It's a pretty good track record. So this is my argument to you. Don't hire somebody who hasn't run something, because it takes too long to be trained.